Imagine a narrow alley under a lamp's soft halo, charcoal heat rising, the city drawing breath as people gather around low tables. A vendor calls a dish name, quick and practiced, and someone hands over a handful of change. Tonight, we walk those lanes. Tonight, we stand beside night kitchens that keep Phnom Penh awake.
Hello, I'm Samnong Bradley. Welcome to Ancient Echoes KH, where quiet stones meet loud stories. Tonight's episode, Night Kitchens of Phnom Penh, Fires, Flavors, and the Hands that Feed the City. I will take you to 3 kitchens, a family that has grilled fish for generations, a young vendor reviving a fermented sauce recipe, and an elder who feeds river workers after long shifts. We'll listen, learn, and leave with a few careful tips if you come to sample these places yourself.
Before we step into the alleys, a quick note of context. Phnom Penh's night kitchens are not a novelty, they're everyday civic life. Common dishes you will encounter are grilled fish with herbs and lime, noodle stir-fries from quick wok stalls, and pungent sauces made from fermented fish or shrimp that carry generations of taste memory. Vendors work late both for economy and for community. After markets close, workers and neighbors gather, trade news, and repair the day with food.
The layers matter here. These recipes are portable archives, a technique, a gesture, a pairing of herb and acid that tells you where a family came from, who taught them, and how they've adapted to a changing city. As we listen, consider not just the flavors, but the labor and the relationships that make them possible.
Our first kitchen is a grilled fish stall that sits beneath an old frangipani tree. They have done this for 3 generations, charcoal pits passed down like a family heirloom. When I arrive, the oldest woman moves with deliberate accuracy. She fans the embers, lifts fish from the grill, and pats a spice mix into the flesh. Her granddaughter stands beside her, learning the timing of the flip, the exact tilt of the spatula. She tells me, quietly, as if naming a small miracle, that the secret is patience. Not a single ingredient, but the patience to wait for the skin to blister just so, and the lime to meet smoke. The granddaughter laughs and says this is the part she is good at, convincing customers to try a new herb. There's ease between them, a fluent choreography that comes from years of doing the same small, exacting tasks. Outside the stall, men on motorbikes pause for their dinner. I ask about the prices. Fair, they say, and adapted for neighbors. What strikes me is how the stall is more than a place to eat. It's where debts are forgiven over bowls, where news moves faster than the city bus, where wedding invitations are remembered and arranged. Food here is a connector. It stitches the neighborhood back together each night. At a separate corner, a young vendor named Chenda is reviving an old sauce that her grandmother once made. She tells me that when her family moved into the city, many flavors were diluted, cheaper fish, faster methods. She decided to learn the fermented sauce recipe properly, the right fermentation time, the correct salt ratio, the herbs that temper the pungency. She experiments at night, testing jars under a single light, her phone full of notes. Chendai explains that food memory often survives in small acts, a midday taste, a comment from an elder, a gesture of stirring. Her customers react in surprise. "It tastes like my grandmother's chend," one woman says. And then they close their eyes and remember the name of a village and a family recipe. For many, Taste is the shortest bridge to a past they miss.
Our third cook is an elder named Bora, who arrives after the river work has finished. He keeps a modest table and prepares bowls meant for workers who can't afford much and yet will not go hungry on his watch. He stirs large pots slowly, making thin, restorative broths with fish bones and herbs, ladling them into a line of waiting bowls. When I ask why he does it, he shrimps in a way that says the answer is simple, because someone once fed him the same way.
This sense of reciprocity is central. Urban food economies hinge on invisible obligations, the way a vendor gives credit to a regular, or how an elder keeps prices low for neighborhood children. These practices are economic and social at the same time. They are part of how community is maintained in a city that changes quickly.
Across these kitchens, certain rhythms repeat. The quick pan toss, the measured squeeze of lime, the bargaining smile. But the differences, who stands at the grill, who keeps the recipe alive, tell us about migration, adaptation, and care. Recipes travel on bicycles and buses, through marriage and market stalls, and then settle into nightly rituals that anchor people in a place. I recorded brief voices that night, a woman asking for extra chiles, a boy calling for soup, a vendor calling out a dish name like a metronome. Those voices sit in the soundscape of the city. They are ordinary, and they are precious. Now, let's breathe with the city for a moment. We'll let the layered ambience sit under what we've heard, the grill crackle, the soft friction of folding chairs, the distant motorbike, so you can place yourself in that lane.
Coming back into conversation, I spoke with a local market coordinator, and she noted something that helps explain what we just heard. She said, "Night kitchens are a form of urban infrastructure. They feed bodies, yes, but they also feed social networks. When you lose a stall, you lose a meeting place." That phrasing, meeting place, is useful. It reframes these kitchens as civic rather than purely commercial.
A food historian I spoke with added that flavor memory functions like an archive. It resists erasure. Even in diaspora, a single taste can unlock family stories. That is why Chenda's work matters. Tastes are not trivial. They're carriers of identity.
Let's move to a few practical takeaways for listeners who want to explore Phnom Penh's night kitchens responsibly. First, ask before you record or photograph. Many vendors are happy to share, but they deserve to consent. Second, pay fairly. Small stalls rely on quick turnover and honest trade. Third, if a vendor asks to remain anonymous, respect that request. Don't publish precise stall locations without permission.
A couple more tips from our fieldwork. Sample dishes that have been cooked to order. That's often the freshest option. If you're unsure about an ingredient, ask for a brief translation. Many vendors appreciate someone who tries to learn a word in Khmer. And if you love to dish, tell the cook. A simple compliment and buying a second plate are the most direct ways to show support. We also followed our own ethics checklist for this episode. We paid every participant for their time, secured verbal consent before recording, and offered copies of the episode to the cooks. Where music or songs were present near stalls, we avoided using copyrighted performances without permission, and will list credits in the show notes. If a participant asked to be anonymized, we respected that. You can read the full notes and ways to support the vendors in the episode page.
If you're researching or recording these places yourself, remember to be trauma-informed and community-centered. That means pre-interview briefings, offering to share results, and avoiding exploitative or voyeuristic approaches. Foodways are living heritage.
Treat them as you would any community-held treasure.
As we close, I want to bring us back to a small image that has stayed with me. A single metal plate passed from hand to hand so people can share a piece of grilled fish. The ember glow on the cook's face, the way an elder watches the young, learning the right flip of a spatula. Food in these kitchens is ritual and labor and love, all braided together. If you enjoyed walking these alleys with me, please subscribe to Ancient Echoes KH. Find show notes with recipe sketches, guest credits, and ethical support links on the website. If you can, buy from vendors when you visit. Share episodes with friends who care about cultural preservation, and leave us a rating so more listeners can discover these stories.
Thank you for listening. Join us next time when we step into a dance rehearsal in Siem Reap and listen to how movement holds memory. Until then, listen, learn, belong.
Quiet stones, loud stories. Samnong Bradley, walk the kitchens with me and be kind to the hands that feed our city.